Hello everyone, and welcome to this online market consultation about automated rolling stock control system. I'm really happy to be here and to have all of you here as well watching online. Let me just remind you that this is a market consultation workshop. The consultation is not a public procurement notice, but we definitely will go deeper about more details about the intended procurement process, and we'll go maybe explaining as the current situation and what would you expect. So just a short agenda. So we go short intro about the LTG Infra, then we'll go explaining about the current system and its limitations, also what is expected of the new system. Then we'll briefly go through the potential tender process, and then at the end we'll have a Q&A session. So I really encourage you to ask the questions during the session. You can do that in your chat box on your right-hand side, and of course you may need to sign in just to YouTube to submit the question. Let me just remind you for all the viewers that this live stream video will be recorded and you can review it later at your convenience. All the details will be listed on the website, where you can go and check it about all this market consultation and have more details about it. And of course, a Q&A will be there as well. So let me start and introduce my colleague, Justas. Hi, Justas.
Hi, Julius. Hi, everyone. I'm Justas Baranauskas. I'm a project manager, and I'm leading the market consultation for this automated rolling stock control system that LTG Infra intends to procure.
Perfect. So maybe, let's dig in deeper, and let's start maybe with your introduction about your company.
Yeah, as you may know, for you who don't, LTG Infra is a state-owned entity. It's a subsidiary of LTG Lithuanian Railways, and it's responsible for managing country's railway infrastructure network, ensuring its safety and development. And it aims to be a regional leader in efficiency in the Central and Eastern Europe. And currently, we're embarking on the path of modernization of country's infrastructure, maximizing its safety, providing customers with high-quality services. Briefly about some of the projects that we're currently undertaking. One of them is Rail Baltica. It's a project of regional importance. It's a greenfield railway infrastructure project. Multiple countries are involved, and at the end, when it's finished, it should improve connection between Northern and Central Europe. Another one would be electrification of Vilnius-Klaipėda section. This is a pan-European corridor 9B, and when the project is finished, the electric trains will be able to go from the state border with Belarus to Klaipėda port. And at the end of this electrification project, the percentage of electrified rail tracks in Lithuania will jump up to 35%. So that's briefly on LTG Infra, and continuing with this modernization topic, we're now here to try to upgrade companies' rolling stock control solutions.
So I think, Justas, let's start, maybe more details about it. So tell the audience, what is the current system and what are maybe these limitations as well?
Well, the current rolling stock diagnostic system consists of 3 subsystems. These are dynamic weighing, wheel impact load diagnostics, and hot box and hot wheel detection. Apart from these 3 systems, there's 2 more subsystems. These are commercial inspection and rail OCR solution and gauge measurement system. Now, bear in mind that these last 2 systems are not integrated with the rest of the system, and they operate separately. And current diagnostic solutions overall, they're outdated, they're inefficient, and they do not meet the current needs of freight operators and basically infrastructure safety requirements as well. And their level of interoperability and centralized data management is not sufficient to the current requirements of the market.
Okay, good. So we understand there's outdated things, right? But then, so what do you expect, because we do this market consultation, maybe, can you explain to the audience what is expected out of the new system?
Yeah, I can share a few slides that I've made for this occasion. So briefly about the vision for our new automated rolling stock control system. It will be a unified and geographically optimized solution. It will be managed centrally. It will ensure greater reliability of rolling stock control and will ensure greater rail traffic safety. So the system, it shall consist of 6 diagnostic solutions, and they will be integrated through a central management software solution. With this new system, we want to upgrade the existing system and to add on new features, previously unused subsystems, and basically to provide a sufficient layout in terms of checkpoint density, which will ensure the optimal safety. Now, some general requirements for these subsystems. What we're looking for are off-the-shelf solutions with no need for adaptation. The systems shall have modular design. We expect the systems to be at least 90%, 95% accurate. We want them to have the ability to store data locally in case of network failures, as well as we want to have the possibility for future adaptation of RFID tracking technology. Currently, only a fraction of rolling stock moving in Lithuanian territory is equipped with RFID tracking technology. So we want to have the possibility to integrate this functionality in the future as well. Now, suppliers shall also be able to ensure that they will be able to provide spare parts for the period of 15 years. These diagnostic subsystems shall be able to perform diagnostics of rolling stock, with rolling stock going either way. And these subsystems should also be able to withstand, of course, Lithuanian weather conditions. And they also have to be able to monitor their own. The sensor equipment should also be able to monitor its own condition and to generate alerts in case of any failure. So now let's go into each of the subsystem one by one, starting with dynamic weighing. On the left-hand side of the screen, you can see the key data that we want to generate with this system. These are basically dynamic weighing. We want the system to detect any loading imbalances. We want the system to generate data on the load for each axle and each wheel as well. The system we want the system to be able to perform on electrified tracks as well, because the current system is really sensitive to electromagnetic forces. Moving on to the next solution, it is wheel impact load diagnostics. Now, this system will be integrated with the first system I've just talked about, the dynamic weighing system. It shall produce data on dynamic force impact on tracks, starting at 80 kilometers per hour. As you can see, there's the same amount of units that we intend to procure for this system, and wheel impact load diagnostics will be placed at the same checkpoints as the dynamic weighing subsystems. What else? I guess we can move on to pantograph diagnostics, a third system. So with this system, we want to prevent damage to the catenary that is made by a pantograph. The data that we want to generate is we want to monitor the condition of the pantograph and its carbon strip. So damage to the strip, any vertical cracks, carbon strip erosion, abrasion, and when it comes to pantograph, whether it is displaced, what its lift force, and its tilting angle. And the system shall provide 3D images of the pantograph components as well. Moving on to the next solution, it's commercial inspection and rail OCR solution. So the system has dual functionality. The first functionality is automated readings of wagon and container numbers and their identification. The solution shall be able to perform the identification from both sides of the rolling stock, and it shall also provide a footage of the rolling stock for a closed type of rolling stock. We want to monitor its roofs, walls, doors, whether they're closed, and the seals, whether they have been interfered with. And for open type rolling stock, we want to monitor the condition of the cargo and containers. The system shall be able to perform when a rolling stock is going at speeds between 25 and 120 kilometers per hour for 1520 gauge, and for 1435 gauge, it shall perform diagnostics for trains which go up to 160 kilometers per hour. And we wanted the system to be able to perform on electrified tracks as well. Moving on, hot box and hot wheel detection. So this is the most critical system that we want to procure. As you can see, there's 55 units that we intend to procure currently. They're going to be placed for optimal density between one another to ensure the optimal safety. The sensors, they shall be installed on special special metal railroad ties, and basically should provide data associated with axle box temperature, the temperature difference between the left and the right axles, as well as temperature of wheels and temperature of tracks. The system shall also be able to differentiate between axle boxes with cassette and roller bearings, because they do have a different operating temperature. Usually, cassette bearings can withstand higher operating temperatures. Yes, the final sensor equipment is gauge measurement. It shall monitor the gauge of the rolling stock, and it shall generate 3D images of rolling stock gauge violations. It shall provide two different alarm levels. So one of them being minimal clearance outline, and the other one is load gauge violations. The system shall perform the diagnostics for trains that go from 25 to 160 kilometers for 1520 gauge, and on 1435 gauge, it shall perform diagnostics for trains that go from 25 to 250 kilometers per hour. And we arrived at central management software, which central management software solution. This solution will integrate the 6 rolling stock control subsystems that I've just briefly elaborated on. It shall intercept the sensor readings and alarm notifications and notify the system user. It shall be able to monitor the condition of the sensor equipment itself. So basically, the sensor equipment will send data of its own condition, and the central management software shall notify the user of any failures of the sensor equipment. So what else about the central management software? It's going to be deployed in high resolution, and through an integration platform, it will exchange information with the rest of company's IT infrastructure. I guess that's all I wanted to talk about briefly about the structure of our 2B system.
Great. I see. The audience already submitting the questions, so I'm really encouraged to do so, because we will have this Q&A session at the end, where our other colleagues, experts, will be joining as well, just to help to answer the questions. And just to move on, Justas, maybe we can just go a little bit, tell the audience what do you expect from the tender process.
Yes, we can talk about the tender as well. Now, to preface the procurement structure and the requirements for the sensor equipment that we intend to procure, they're not a final product, and they can still change in the light of market consultation results. So we really urge you to reply to the questionnaire that we have prepared for the suppliers, and this really can impact how the technical specifications will be constructed, and you really want to listen to the opinion of the experts, the capabilities that these experts have. So about the tender, it's going to be a single tender. It's going to be divided into multiple lots. These lots are like parts of the contract. Each of them are for a different automated rolling stock control solution. We are going to merge dynamic weighing and wheel impact load diagnostics into a single lot. So they're going to be procured from a single supplier. And the sixth lot is dedicated for central management software. This software will integrate sensor equipment. So that's the whole tender. The suppliers may bid individually or through a joint venture, and they may bid for the whole solution, that is all 6 lots, or they can bid for parts of the tender, or a single lot even. But I have to mention that if suppliers intend to make a proposal for several systems, they have to be priced separately. We can also talk about the timeline for the procurement. So currently, we want to close the market consultation within a week. Then we want to announce the procurement at the beginning of 2021. So this is either going to be at the end of January or beginning of February. We are planning to award the contracts by August 2021. And the project is to be completed by the end of 2023. So that's the whole structure of the intended procurement and the as-is dates for various stages of the procurement.
Great. So thank you, Justas. I hope there was a quite clear message for the audience, and maybe we gave some answers already and explained in more details. Okay, so what else do we need maybe from the audience before we go to the tender?
What do we need?
Questionnaire? A questionnaire?
The questionnaire. As you may already have received the questionnaire, we really, as I said, want to listen to the market's capabilities, what you can offer. So again, I really wanted to urge everybody to fill in the questionnaire that we have prepared, and you can send the questionnaire either by CVP IS system, which is Lithuanian public procurement portal, or you can send them directly to me. My email is justas.barnauskas@litrail.lt.
Yeah, so the audience should see now their email as well. Just as a reminder, like, so even we pull up, like, this is a short URL, you can access, this questionnaire. It's already online on our dedicated website. You just go and check it there as well, wherever it's more convenient for you. And let me just remind for the audience that we're expecting to receive all the answers by 25th of November. So please do help us, just to have a better understanding of what's about, what is in the market, what are available solutions, and that will help us better prepare for the intended tender. Okay, so I think maybe we can start with the Q&A session, because I see quite a bunch of questions already. So let's maybe start from the beginning. Okay, there's one question here. So does accuracy of 95% mean 5% is uncertainty?
We also have experts from maintenance and operation team.
Yeah, that's a good. Actually, yeah, let's remind our colleagues. So we have Thomas here and we have Kostas here. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Perfect. So maybe somebody can pick up this question and comment about this accuracy. 95% means 5% uncertainty.
Thomas, please correct me if I'm wrong, but what we really want to tell is that 95% of the times the readings, for example, let's take the readings of commercial inspection and rail OCR solution system. The system has to provide the numbers of wagons or containers 95% of the time accurate. So, and that is the minimum accuracy that we're looking for.
Yeah.
Higher the better. Yeah,
you're right. And when we're talking about, as example, about the hot box detection, so system should measure temperature at 95 accuracy.
Okay, so let's move on maybe to another question. So another question is, can the wheel impact load system be integrated with the weighting system?
Yes, yes, of course.
And that's actually our intention with the procurement. We intend to integrate these two subsystems into a single lot, basically. So that means that these two subsystems will be purchased from a single supplier.
Okay. RAKS number 3, is the white light allowed, or is it only non-visible light permitted?
Thomas, do we have an answer for that, or do you want to get back to Michael at a later date with this question?
Well, I'm not such a great expert of RAKS 3. Yeah, so I think we should get back.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes. Definitely. So thanks, Michael, for the question. I mean, the question has been recorded, so we'll definitely come back, with the answers later. All these questions not unanswered can be listed on our website after recordings. Yes, Justas, sorry, go on.
Yes. I just want to add that I have received quite a few emails and with questions from suppliers. I unfortunately didn't have time to reply to all of them, but we're gonna gather all of the questions asked by suppliers, and we're gonna, first of all, we're gonna reply to them directly, and also we're gonna collect them into a single document, which will be uploaded on the page dedicated for the market consultation, as well as the CVP IS system.
Yeah, so all the information is pretty much the same on Lithuanian public procurement. System is called CVP IS, and all these Q&A will be there as well as this recorded video link or to our website, wherever is more convenient for you. Okay, so let's move on. Another question from Michael. So does 1520 millimeters means Russian wagon numbers, and 1435 millimeters means UEC wagon numbers, right? So OCR means Russian numbers, UEC numbers, and container code. Is that right?
I think OCR is an abbreviation for number identification technology that is available. I cannot recall the exact what the exact word in the abbreviation means, but yeah, and 1520 that indicates the rail gauge. 1520 and 1435. These are the two rail gauges currently present in the Lithuanian railway infrastructure network.
And OCRs means probably optical character recognition system, right? Okay, so let's move on to another question. We have a question from Antti, and is operating speed range for wheel impact load detectors and scales. Do we know?
We do know that. I just cannot fetch the exact numbers currently. So this is one of the questions that we're gonna set aside for the after the webinar, and we're gonna reply to.
Sure, we'll come back to that question as well. Okay, the next question is, so what is the maximum speed of trains passing?
Thomas, could you please take this one?
On 1520 millimeter track, it's 160. But as you know, in Rail Baltica, there will be 250 kilometers per hour.
Okay. And is the electrification project going to change that as well on the 1520 millimeters track?
As I know, no.
Okay, there you go. Okay, thank you. And let's move on to another question. So Jan is asking HBD measurement at inner and outer side at the same time. Anybody can? Yeah.
Thomas, do we have currently an answer for this question, or do we need to go to experts after the webinar? Thomas?
Yeah, guys, I'm reading the question, so.
Do we need more clarifications of the question?
Yeah. We need
so Jan, if you can just maybe a little bit more, clarify your question, and definitely, we'll try to answer, or we'll come back to that at later stage. Okay, let's move on. Another question we have from Rytis. So Rytis is asking, are you planning to introduce any specific technical requirements for the SME system? For example, software requirements such as programming language or tools used, and etc. Can you share any of them already?
We're still in the process of writing the technical specifications for the CMS solution. So we're going to use market consultation for this exact purpose as well. We want to get a better sense of what's out there, and we want to create our technical specifications accordingly. I don't know if Kostas can elaborate on this current state of technical specifications.
Good evening, everyone. So we are not planning to make limits on the development tools you used for creating the software. So there will be no specification about programming languages or tools. You're free to go with whatever is best for you.
Okay, good. So let's move on to another questions. So Seppo is asking, do you plan to use existing monitoring sites, or are you going to establish the new ones?
Yes, we are going to use the existing ones, and we're also going to create additional checkposts for additional sensor equipment, because currently, as this system is density of some of the systems is not sufficient to detect to be able to detect some of the failures or defects of rolling stock components. For example, we want to place hot box and hot wheel detection checkpoints. Basically, how should I put this? More close to one to another. So basically, creating more checkpoints as well.
Okay. So another question from readers. So, do you have any preferences in selecting a product-based CMS solution off-the-shelf product, which could be customized, tailored, or custom-developed solution?
Kostas, could you?
Kostas, maybe, yeah. Oh, Kostas, you're on mute. Sorry.
Sorry, can you show the question again?
Sure. So the question is basically, do we have any preferences, just to buy the product off the shelf, which can be customized or tailored, or custom developed solutions can be fulfilling as well?
We prefer something from the shelf where we can simply customize, but we also understand that in some cases it would take some development jobs or tasks to complete.
Okay. So another question, will it be reflected in the procurement as well? Different weight points for off-the-shelf solution versus custom developed solutions? So I think this is just very much related. I think what basic Kostas is saying is just more preferences, not necessarily going to be like, limited in the tender, right? And we're still working, I think, on the market consultation event right now. Another question from Jan, should all systems also be integrated into the new CMS system?
We are going to replace the old systems with the new systems. Correct me if I'm wrong, Thomas.
You're right, Justus.
Yes, so there's no old systems that are going to be remaining. So they're not going to be integrated in the solution.
Okay. Another very interesting question. So why do you prefer OCR solution instead of tag solution as an identification system?
Unless Thomas has
Okay, so basically in Lithuania, 80% of wagons are from other countries, and those wagons do not have tags. So, so this is my answer.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, that's just the answer for the for the audience that it's complicated to control all other operators and just to put all the tags. So that's basically the idea why we decided to use OCR. Okay, another question from Miko. Do you prefer collaborations or single company tenders? If collaborations are preferred, how is this evaluated in the final tender request?
I think if companies are able to collaborate and to suggest a solution that takes on a wider scope of the whole tender, that's even better. So we don't place a particular preference for collaborations or single company tenders, but we do encourage the collaboration and joint ventures as well, because that only brings more solutions, more capabilities.
Exactly. Great. Another question from Seppo. So do you think your timeline is realistic, finished by 2023?
Again, going back to the purpose of the market consultation, we're going to listen to the opinions of the experts, and it may change, but currently it is as it is. By the end of 2023, we want to complete the project, because the suppliers will no longer be will no longer have to provide spare parts for some of the systems. So yeah, that's one of the reasons that we want to finish up by 2023 and have the new sensor equipment installed. But
yeah. Great, and I think I just want to add on, basically, that's the idea of the market consultation. So if you from your experience, maybe that, this time is not realistic, so please, submit the questionnaire, submit your ideas and explaining why, and maybe you have some practice already. That will definitely help us to have better understanding about the possibilities, and just to have a better, I would say, even expectations of, the potential tender as well. Okay, let's move on to some more questions. So that's loads of questions, very happy. Okay, the question from Kara, regarding the commercial inspection on OCR system, is it desirable for the system to automatically identify defects on the vehicle, or is it simply a camera system that an operator will observe?
Yeah, we've just discussed this question with Thomas just prior to the meeting. So if there's solutions, and I think as far as we're aware, there are some solutions that are able to detect various changes in the condition of wagons. Let's say if it's a closed wagon, then these solutions are able to detect whether the doors are open or closed, and if there's, let's say, seals, the system can detect whether the seals have been interfered with. So yes, if the market can offer this kind of solution and this kind of functionality, that's the solution we're after, ultimately.
Okay, let's move on to another question from Antti. Is there anything specific that a joint venture or consortium should take into account when offering?
Possibly there might be some regulatory rules or laws applying to this kind of participation, but
yeah, that's what I want to say. It's probably nothing. Sorry, nothing probably specific to the tender. Is mainly just only regulatory things, but normally just not like that, specifying that, joint venture or consortium. But maybe it's just too early, just to have once we're launching the tender. I think there will be more clarifications on that as well. Okay, more questions here. 95% calculated on how many readings? Example, containers, ADs, or on what? I think we're talking again about the accuracy.
On containers ADs, yes.
But is it like, on the number of readings, 95%, like, 100 is fine, and then 95%, or you have to take much, like, bigger lots?
Yeah.
I think that hasn't been discussed as far as I'm concerned, and as far as I'm aware. We may come back to Alan.
Yeah.
This one.
Sure. Okay. Another question from Seppo. Are all devices going to be installed on sections with mixed traffic, for example, freight and passenger trains, any high-speed lanes?
Yes. The sections that the sensor equipment will be installed in. There's some sections that do contain both passenger and freight traffic.
Okay, another question from Lane, and sorry just for the audience if I, spelled wrongly your name. I do apologize for that. But how many operator workstations are needed on a few strategical locations or one centralized location?
Yes, we're going to have a single centralized location for for the intervention center, that will be the primary users of this application. They will they will be the first responders, let's say, to the alarms generated by sensor equipment. They will be notified through a CMS solution, and then intervention center employees will pass on this information to the traffic control center. We also want, there's going to be different types of users of the software, and they shall be able to connect to the software through a web-based application.
Okay, let's move on. Another question from Kara. So without RFID tags, how do you anticipate identification of the vehicles at subsystems other than commercial inspection or OCR systems?
Well, this is one of the ways of identifying rolling stock. As Thomas has mentioned previously, a large chunk of rolling stock in Lithuania is from abroad, and it may not necessarily have RFID tags on them. So we still have this solution in mind, and we want each of the system to have the ability to adapt and integrate the RFID functionality in the future as well. So we have that in mind, but it's not in the scope of the current solution.
Okay, let's move on. Another question from Elaine. Can you provide the gabarit loading gauge dimensions for rail freight in Lithuania?
Yes. I don't think we're going to be able to provide these during this call, but this is a question that has come up several times. So we're going to respond to the people who posed these questions individually, and also collect all of the questions to a single document and share it with the market consultation participants.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, another question from Giorgio. Don't you need also wheel profile measurement systems? Usually it is in the main system of rolling stock control equipment.
Yes, that's a question we have discussed. This is not a solution that we're currently looking for. There are some doubts about this type of solution, whether, as far as I'm aware, it may require extensive use to provide the benefit that it can provide. So we do not think it's optimal in the current environment for us. But I think that the supplier shall elaborate on the benefits of the system, and we will definitely review it and evaluate it, whether the arguments are relevant for us when structuring the future procurement. So, like we've mentioned earlier, nothing is set in stone, but currently as is, we're not intent to include this solution.
So
okay.
I could add Justas about that question. So in Lithuania, railways undertakers are responsible for wheel profile inspections. So main goal of this project is to protect infrastructure.
Yeah. Well, definitely, Georgia can come back, because maybe that can be a question for the operators, probably more, but this is more the tender for the infrastructure, as Thomas mentioned as well. Okay, let's move on. Another question from Seppo. Some devices might need trackside cabinets, houses, and etc. Do you expect these to be included in the offer, or are we going to purchase them separately?
Sorry, I'll just take a few moments to.
Sure, go on.
Yes, we have considered this question already, and this is this particular topic is one of the reasons we're conducting this market consultation, because we want to hear from the suppliers whether it would be more preferable for them to have to install these cabinets themselves, or they want the procuring entity, which is LTG Infra, to have them in place. So no decision whether we're gonna for sure procure them ourselves, or we expect that from suppliers. We want to hear from suppliers.
Good. Okay, another question from Kara. So you would like the option to upgrade to RFID in the future, or is there any reason you wouldn't do at this point?
I think this question has been discussed quite extensively during this webinar, so I think we've already provided the answer.
Yeah, so submit your options, and we'll definitely consider about it, and then maybe we can have better understanding about the possibilities. Who will be responsible for removing the old system?
Thomas, will you take this one?
Well, it's not specified in this case, so it depends on market consultations.
Sure. Maybe, after this market consultation activity, or when we listed, this Q&A session, we can provide some indications what we currently, but I think it's just hard to answer right now. Okay, just maybe I think this is clarification from Jan. So HPD measurement, both target areas 900 millimeters to 110 millimeters at the same time because of different bearings. Anybody can?
I will leave this question to the technical experts. So,
okay.
Thomas,
yeah, well, we will come back to the answer later.
Okay. Sure. Okay, another question from Michael. Again, RAKS free. According to your description, identifying is demanded. So identifying of Russian wagon numbers, UIC wagon numbers, and container code numbers are demanded. Is that correct?
Yes, it's correct.
Okay. Seppo is asking another question. Does the evaluation of the tenders include any trial period of the devices to collect experience from their performance? Oh, that's a good question.
Yes, we intend to have the pilot checkpoints for the most relevant sections, and we intend we want to have suppliers install their equipment in those checkpoints. There's going to be a single checkpoint for a single system. So, and we want to monitor the performance of the sensor equipment for a period of time. It might be around 3 months, and then if everything is as we have expected, as it was promised in the tender, we're going to proceed with the whole solution.
Good. Another question from Audrus, very interesting one about responsibilities of the entire systems. So the systems are different and possibly will be different equipment suppliers. Will the customer be responsible for the integration of individual systems into CMS?
I will pass on this question to Thomas and Kostas. We have an answer. Guys?
Anybody?
Well, we will come back with this answers, okay?
Okay. Question from Fabrizio: should the gauge measurement system detect also some missing parts or damages under the undercarriage, or should it just check the gauge and provide the 3D?
So at the moment, wish in the requirements, well, at the moment, we need only gauge 3D profile. Sorry for my English. I'm very tired.
It's okay.
Today, so.
I think I can add on, just what's basically Tom is saying. Currently is a 3D, but I think if you can really submit, your ideas, and comments and maybe answers to this, supplier questionnaire, I think, and just maybe a little bit elaborate that, it's possible just to add on this, these extra features, because there's definitely, coming to their new technologies. So I think that can be very valuable for have better understanding about the possibilities in the market. Okay, question from Miko. So what is your budget estimate for the whole project and how the funding is arranged?
Oh, we're not announcing we do not intend to announce the budget during the market consultation. Yeah, but it's a multi-million deal.
Yeah, I think that's the idea of the market consultation, to have a better understanding possibilities in the market, right? And then probably will come up. And how the funding is arranged is probably will be split it into these slots, right? Or I'm wrong?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. Okay. Question from Michael: maximum speed on 1520 millimeters. I think that was correct. Really for freight as well?
No. So passenger trains goes faster. So those speed are for passenger trains.
Yeah, for the freight it will be lower, I anticipate. Okay, the question from Giorgio: the inspection of the wagons has to be automatic, or do you prefer deep learning technology to do that as well?
It's going to be automatic. I don't think we're not intend to. Sorry, the scope of the 2B solution, as it is currently, does not involve deep learning solutions, but yeah, I would encourage the supplier to make these arguments in the questionnaire that we have sent out.
Sure. Another question from the audience: if the CMS is awarded to a different company than the sensors, so who is responsible to the program connection between both? I think that was a very similar question already, right, about the responsibility. So it's currently not decided, and we'll definitely come back to that. Another question from Gediminas: will there be a recording of this workshop? Yes, it will be. So it's already streamed on YouTube, so you can access via the same link, or it can be accessible through our website and CVPIS system as well. There will be a link there as well. The question from Fabrizio: what is the performance of the strip wear measurement of the pantograph system? And what is the maximum measurement error allowed? Less than 0.5 millimeter.
So pantograph system, it's one of the system which is new for us. So I need to talk with my colleague. So I think we will be back with the answer later.
Sure. And I think very related, another question from Fabrizio about the pantograph. Again, some minimum crack size. Maybe we can come back as well to these two questions about the pantographs. Okay. Another question from Seppo: are Lithuanian train operators already using the monitoring data for the daily maintenance procedures? Are they prepared for receiving the data directly to their systems?
I think Thomas would be able to take the first part of the question at least.
Lithuanian trail operators are using monitoring data only in case of emergency, yeah. But as I understand, SEPO is asking about maintenance of rolling stock. So my answer would be no.
Okay, so we're nearly an hour live on this hour's video, so let's take a few more last questions. So the question from Kęstutis: will you give additional offer evaluation points if all systems, including SMS, will be offered by the same supplier? I think it's very related about these responsibilities, right? Because, or maybe you want to answer this, doesn't know.
I think we're gonna get back to Kęstutis on this question, this particular question.
Sure. Another question. Okay, Giorgio, my opinion, the wheel defects can be detected with a flat wheel detector. Okay, so there's a conversation between the audience going on as well. The quick question from the guide: measurements, how big and small can be detected, are that out of the profile? I think, can we answer that, or maybe we can provide the link about this gauge, the measurements in Lithuania as well?
We're going to provide the gauge measurements as my question a supplier in the beginning of the Q&A session, and I think we're going to have to come back to forgot the person who was asking this question to the person after the webinar as well.
Sure. So. Well, I'm glad that all the audience have been very, very proactive. So there's already many questions. So let me just remind you. So there is a questionnaire on the website, and most of you already got the link. Just go and find this questionnaire there, and please submit your answers to Justus via email, or you can do it via Lithuanian procurement system CVPIS. Please be aware that we're expecting to receive all the answers by 25th of November. And that's definitely will be very, very helpful. As we see from these conversations, there's many things, maybe we need to reconsider or think again, just to have a better understanding, maybe do some clarifications and provide some more information for you guys as well. So once again, thank you very much about being active on this workshop. If you have any further questions, any other need clarifications, so you can also submit these questions to Justus via email. And then we're trying to answer as well. All these Q&A, will be listed as well on our website. You can always have a recording session there as well. And all the updates and information will be available on the website as well. And I think once the tender will be going for these notices, we can send an email to all these participants on this market consultation, so you can be aware. But of course, please check it and have a look, what's going on. But I think we're expecting some early in 2021 to announce the tender. So once again, thank you very much to everybody, to being active and watching us today. So all information is on the website, and we'll keep in touch. And thank you very much. And we expecting, to receive these answers, to the questions. Thank you very much for your input, guys.
Stay safe.
And stay safe. Thank you and goodbye.